We spend a lot of time on Backyard Farmer telling you what to do, when to plant, when to fertilize, et cetera, et cetera. Today we're going to tell you what not to do. These are critical components of managing turf during the stressful summer months. Let's start with mowing. Common practice, everyone does it, but you probably want to not mow as frequently during the summer months as you do during the spring and the fall. If the turf doesn't need to be mowed, don't run a lawnmower over it, because that compaction is just going to add to problems later. You also can get some tracking on turf that's partially drought stressed, and you're going to have wear and tear on the mower that you really don't need. So do not mow as frequently as you normally would. That's our first do not do. Our second do not do concerns irrigation. Do not irrigate in the late afternoon, early evening. What that does is it creates an environment that's perfect for disease infection. So if you avoid that time for irrigation, it'll work really well into your advantage. The alternative to that is actually a do, and that is to start your irrigation system in the pre-dawn and early morning hours when wind speeds are lower and the leaf doesn't stay as wet as it does when you irrigate in the evening. So that's a don't do. Do not irrigate late in the afternoon and early evening. Herbicides. We do not want to use herbicides when the temperatures are elevated, especially when they exceed 90 degrees. There are some exceptions to that rule, but primarily from a safety standpoint, as well as reduced efficacy or performance of that herbicide. You will get some drift, you may get some volatilization, which will drift on to the grapes and the tomatoes in your garden and the other desirable landscape plants, resulting in damage that you could avoid by simply not putting the herbicide down. Most of our herbicides work better when temperatures are cool anyway, so let's avoid that problem altogether. And then finally, what about fertility? Avoid fertility during the summer months on turfgrass systems, for the cool season ones specifically. Now there are some products out there like merit-based products and grub-based products that will have a little bit of fertilizer with them, but it's formulated in such a way that it's not going to be harmful to the turf. So consider that as an alternative, but you do not want to fertilize heavy, and if you can avoid fertility during the summer months, you're better off. So let's briefly review what we're talking about here. We're talking about what not to do. Do not mow during the summer months unless the turf needs it. Do not irrigate in the evening. Do not apply herbicides when temperatures are elevated, especially above 90 degrees. And finally, do not fertilize during the summer months, because this only adds to extra growth that we really don't need. So those are the don'ts. If you follow these rules, your turf will survive the summer better, and you'll go into the fall with a guaranteed better looking lawn.